Have you ever noticed how we're surrounded by security? Everywhere you look, there are cameras on street corners, smart doorbells on every porch, and complex alarm systems that promise to keep us safe. We live in what should be the most secure time in history. But here's the unsettling question. Why do crime rates in many places seem to be telling a different story? Why does it feel like, despite all this technology, we're not actually any safer? We're constantly sold the idea of security, a fortified world to protect us from harm. Yet the statistics paint a picture of a society struggling with a problem it can't seem to solve. It's an illusion of safety, a high-tech veneer covering up a much deeper, more complex issue. Today, we're going to peel back that veneer and ask the tough questions about why our approach to crime isn't working. Let's start by looking at the very structure of our society. We often hear about the war on crime, a battle fought with police, courts, and prisons. But what if the real problem isn't the one we're fighting? Consider the phenomenon often described as the rich get richer and the poor get prison. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It points to a fundamental flaw in our system. When economic inequality grows, opportunities shrink for those at the bottom. Desperation breeds crime. Yet our response isn't to address the root cause, poverty and lack of opportunity, but to punish the symptoms. We pour resources into policing marginalized communities, creating a cycle where poverty is effectively criminalized. Instead of investing in education, healthcare, and job creation in struggling neighborhoods, we build more prisons. This approach doesn't solve crime. It just manages it, and often, it perpetuates it by ensuring that once someone is caught in the system, it's incredibly difficult to get out. We're targeting people who are struggling, not the systemic failures that put them there in the first place. Now let's zoom in from the big economic picture to the neighborhood level. Have you ever heard of the broken windows theory? It's the idea that visible signs of decay in a community like broken windows, graffiti, or trash in the streets can create an environment that encourages more serious crime. When a neighborhood looks like no one cares, it sends a message. It says this is a place where rules don't apply, where you can get away with things. This isn't about blaming the residents. It's about a process of social disorganization. It starts small. A building gets neglected. A park becomes overgrown. Public services are cut. Slowly, the sense of collective responsibility erodes. People start to feel unsafe, so they withdraw. They stay inside, they don't look out for their neighbors, and they stop using public spaces. This creates a vacuum, and that vacuum is often filled by criminal activity. The community fabric unravels, and a vicious cycle begins. Decay leads to crime, which leads to fear, which leads to more decay. We can't just police our way out of this. We need to invest in communities, to fix the broken windows literally and figuratively, and to restore that sense of shared ownership and pride that is the true foundation of a safe neighborhood. Beyond the physical state of our neighborhoods, there's a deeper, psychological crisis at play. Sociologists call it anomie. It's a fancy word for a simple but terrifying idea, a state of normlessness. It's what happens when the shared values, morals, and social bonds that hold a society together begin to break down. In our fast-paced, hyper-individualistic modern world, many people feel disconnected. They feel disconnected from their neighbors, from their communities, and even from the traditional goals that society tells them they should want. The American dream of a house, a car, and a happy family can feel impossibly out of reach for many. When people see a huge gap between the life they were told to aspire to and the reality of their own circumstances, with no clear, legitimate path to bridge that gap, a sense of meaninglessness can set in. This cultural disconnect, this loss of a shared moral compass, is fertile ground for crime. If society's rules seem rigged or irrelevant, why follow them? Anomie creates a world where anything goes because nothing feels like it matters anymore. This isn't just about individual moral failure. It's about a collective social sickness where the very fabric of our shared identity is fraying. So we have systemic inequality, decaying communities, and a crisis of meaning. But there's another, more cynical piece of the puzzle we need to talk about: profit. What if I told you that for some people, crime is actually good for business? Let's talk about the rise of private prisons. In many places, incarceration has been turned into a for-profit industry. Private companies are paid by the government to house inmates. Think about that for a second. Their business model depends on having a steady supply of prisoners. The more people that are locked up and the longer they stay there, the more money these companies make. This creates a powerful economic incentive not to reduce crime, but to maintain or even increase incarceration rates. These companies have become powerful political lobbyists, pushing for tougher sentencing laws, three-strikes rules, and policies that keep their prisons full. This is the profit of punishment. It transforms human beings into commodities and justice into a balance sheet. When we have a system that profits from failure, is it any surprise that it keeps failing? It's a morally bankrupt model that diverts resources away from prevention and rehabilitation and pours them into a system designed to profit from human misery. So, where does that leave us? We're trapped in an illusion, spending billions on security theater and a punitive system that addresses symptoms while ignoring the disease. The evidence is clear. Our current approach has failed. It fails the victims of crime, it fails the communities torn apart by it, and it fails those who are trapped within the justice system itself. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. The solution isn't more cameras, more police, or more prisons. The solution requires a radical and courageous shift in our thinking. We need to stop waging a war on crime and start investing in people. This means tackling poverty and inequality head-on. It means rebuilding our communities, not just with bricks and mortar, but with resources, opportunities, and a renewed sense of connection. It means focusing on rehabilitation and restorative justice instead of pure punishment. It means dismantling the systems that profit from incarceration. This is not a soft approach. It is the only approach that has a chance of working. We need a society that prioritizes human dignity, human rights, and human potential. Because true safety doesn't come from a locked door or a prison cell. It comes from a just, equitable, and caring society where everyone has a reason to believe in a better future. The path forward is difficult, but the cost of staying on our current course is far, far greater. Thanks for watching. If this conversation resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this important discussion going.